the silent void between galaxies, reality trembles. A flash tears across the darkness, opening a passage between worlds. From the breach, armored figures emerge, Spartans of the UNSC. Their sensors scream in confusion as gravity shifts and known constellations vanish. The stars around them are unfamiliar, the coordinates meaningless. They've crossed into a galaxy that feels ancient, heavy, and grim. Their AI companions confirm one thing: this is not their universe. A lifeless planet below offers the only landing site. As drop pods streak through the atmosphere, the Spartans descend into the unknown, unaware that this new realm is far more dangerous than anything they have faced. The first boots touch the ash-covered ground. The air is thick with decay, and massive ruins stretch across the horizon. Structures, carved with symbols of authority and power, stand like monuments to forgotten empires. Spartan leader, Grey Team Alpha, orders a perimeter sweep. Motion trackers pick up faint readings underground, mechanical and distant. Suddenly, a distorted transmission breaks through, human voices layered with static, speaking of something called the Imperium. Their AI begins decoding, revealing that this world is under a vast human regime, one spanning thousands of star systems. But their signal has already been noticed. Somewhere in orbit, sensors of the Imperium mark this arrival as an anomaly, a potential threat that must be investigated. Orbiting high above, an Imperial Navy vessel locks on to the strange energy readings. Its commander, an officer hardened by centuries of warfare, orders a scout detachment to investigate. To the Imperium, every anomaly could be a threat from the warp or alien corruption. Ground forces are mobilized, disciplined regiments of the Astra Militarum. On the surface, Spartans establish a small forward base, camouflaged among ruins. Their technology, sleek and efficient, contrasts with the rugged industrial design of this galaxy. Energy readings from Spartan armor attract local sensors, and the Imperium's suspicion deepens. Within hours, a squadron of Valkyrie dropships is inbound. Unaware, they are about to meet soldiers unlike any humans they have ever seen. The Valkyries slice through the gray skies, engines howling. Inside, Imperial troopers grip their las rifles tightly, reciting combat protocols. They expect mutants or heretics, not disciplined soldiers in polished armor. When they land, the first thing they see are motionless figures in green and black suits. The Spartans, standing silently, weapons lowered but ready. Communication fails instantly. The frequencies do not align. Both sides stare, assessing. Then, a nervous guardsman misreads a movement and fires. The plasma bolt hits a Spartan's shoulder, flaring harmlessly against the shield. In a blink, the Spartans move, precise, non-lethal strikes. Within seconds, the Imperial squad is disarmed but alive. The Spartans retreat, avoiding unnecessary bloodshed. Reports from the surviving troopers reach orbit within minutes. The Imperial commander listens in disbelief. Humans with unknown armor, energy shielding, and advanced tactical discipline. Such technology is forbidden within the Imperium, unless sanctioned by the Mechanicus. He orders the local inquisitorial representative to be informed. On the surface, the Spartans recover fragments of Imperial equipment for analysis. Their AI identifies the power sources as primitive, yet powerful, operating under unstable plasma containment. Hours later, darkness blankets the planet. Spartan helmets adjust to low-light mode. Drones scout the perimeter and detect incoming reinforcements. Dozens of armored carriers, hundreds of troops. The Spartans decide on silent extraction. Using their Pelican transport, they lift off through the storm, unaware that orbital cannons are already tracking them. A warning flashes. Target lock detected. The Pelican rolls violently as searing light tears across the clouds. The shields flicker. Systems overload. But the Spartans manage to escape into high orbit. There, they glimpse the massive form of an Imperial cruiser. A warship the size of a city, bristling with weapons. Against such a behemoth, their technology feels small and fragile. The Spartans retreat beyond sensor range, hiding in the shadow of a broken moon. Their AI compiles all gathered data, language patterns, energy signatures, and tactical hierarchy. It concludes that humanity here has evolved under constant war for tens of thousands of years, guided by fear and control. The team debates, should they reveal their human origin or remain silent and observe? Commander Gray decides to wait. But while they debate, the Imperium's Inquisition dispatches a fast frigate commanded by an agent trained to eliminate all anomalies. To the Imperium, knowledge itself can be dangerous, and these strangers may hold truths that could shatter their order. Inside the inquisitorial frigate, cold light reflects off steel corridors. The agent, known only as Varen, studies the recordings from the surface. The images show towering armored soldiers moving with mechanical precision. Their weapons discharge blue plasma arcs, nothing registered in Imperial records. To him, this is either forbidden Xenos technology or something birthed from the warp. His mission is clear: capture or destroy. As his ship descends toward the dead world, he orders PSI-scan sweeps for anomalies, unaware that the Spartans' AI has already detected the incoming craft. The Spartans prepare for contact again, setting up decoys and motion beacons in the ruins below. They refuse to start a war, but they will not be captured. Varen's forces land in the night, spreading like a silent wave across the ruins. Servo skulls hover ahead, recording every movement. Suddenly, one of the skulls transmits a distorted hologram. A human soldier in strange armor, signaling for peace. Varen hesitates. Few ever surrender before the Inquisition. He orders a cautious advance. When his team reaches the clearing, they find a Spartan waiting alone, weapon lowered. Through their translation devices, he says just 2 words, "We're human." The soldiers freeze. Varen studies the figure, the armor, the confidence, the calm voice. He realizes these are not aliens. Yet the idea of humans existing outside Imperial control is heresy beyond measure. The meeting lasts minutes before chaos erupts. A subordinate, panicked by the Spartans' movement, fires a bolter round. It strikes, detonating harmlessly against the energy shields, but igniting the ruins around them. The Spartans retreat instantly, vanishing into the smoke. Varen curses the failure and orders full pursuit. The ruins become a war zone, tracer rounds cutting through dust, Spartans using cloaking fields and coordinated ambushes. One Imperial squad is disabled without casualties. Varen watches the feed, impressed and furious. These soldiers fight like ghosts. No fear, no hesitation. He orders an orbital strike to end it. But before the cannons can fire, every Imperial system in range suddenly goes dark. The blackout isn't caused by sabotage. The Spartans' AI, working beyond normal capacity, interfaces with the planet's derelict systems. It hijacks communication relays, feeds false signals to orbit, and cloaks their presence completely. For a few brief hours, the Imperium loses track of them. Hidden in the ruins, the Spartans regroup. Their armor is damaged, supplies limited. Commander Gray orders minimal engagement until they understand this world's power structure. Their AI projects probabilities. If captured, they'll be dissected or executed as heretics. Their best chance is to locate a neutral zone. Perhaps a frontier world less bound by the Imperium's iron control. Unknown to them, something far greater has noticed their presence. The ancient network of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Spartan commander stood at the edge of a fractured ridge, visor reflecting the dull light of a dying sun. Around him, the shattered armor of fallen Astartes glimmered faintly beneath the dust storms. The battlefield was silent now, except for the distant hum of machines, vast constructs of war whose purpose defied logic. His AI companion whispered fragmented data streams, struggling to categorize the enemy. Human, but modified. Worship of machinery detected. The commander didn't reply. He had seen many kinds of war, but never devotion woven into combat. These soldiers fought not for survival, but for reverence. And somewhere within that devotion, the Spartan sensed something terrifying. Discipline so absolute, it bordered on madness. The Spartan commander stood at the edge of a fractured ridge, visor reflecting the dull light of a dying sun. Around him, the shattered armor of fallen Astartes glimmered faintly beneath the dust storms. The battlefield was silent now, except for the distant hum of machines, vast constructs of war whose purpose defied logic. His AI companion whispered fragmented data streams, struggling to categorize the enemy. Human, but modified. Worship of machinery detected. The commander didn't reply. He had seen many kinds of war, but never devotion woven into combat. These soldiers fought not for survival, but for reverence. And somewhere within that devotion, the Spartan sensed something terrifying. Discipline so absolute, it bordered on madness. In the ruins of an abandoned manufactorum, the Spartans regrouped. Supplies were low, energy reserves dwindling. Yet what unnerved them most wasn't scarcity, it was observation. Drones, unlike any UNSC design, hovered just beyond visual range. They weren't attacking, they were studying. When one finally approached, it projected a holographic sigil, a two-headed eagle, ancient and cold. The AI processed it for hours before concluding. This symbol was linked to an empire spanning galaxies. The Imperium of Man, it murmured. Estimated age over 10,000 years. The commander stared at the flickering projection, realizing the unthinkable. Humanity had survived, but not as he knew it. Days passed, marked only by the rhythmic echoes of orbital bombardments in distant sectors. The Spartans learned to move like ghosts across this world, avoiding patrols of armored giants whose presence distorted air itself. They called themselves the Adeptus Astartes, warriors claiming divine purpose and absolute loyalty. The commander's squad intercepted comms between them. Discussions about cleansing anomalies and mechanical heresies. It was clear the Imperium considered them intruders. It wasn't long before the Inquisition took notice. Their ships blotted out the stars, descending in silence. The Spartans observed from concealment as entire settlements were purged for merely mentioning the outsiders. The commander clenched his gauntleted fist, knowing diplomacy was impossible now. But retreat wasn't in his nature. If they see us as a threat, he said calmly, we give them reason to fear. The plan was simple. Draw pursuit away from civilians. Engage only when necessary, and survive long enough to find a way home. Yet even as he spoke, the AI detected something colossal. Energy readings consistent with a teleportation field. Someone or something had taken notice of them. The teleportation surge tore reality open above the battlefield. A distortion of blinding light and metallic shrieks. From it descended constructs of impossible design. Titanic war machines draped in banners of gold and red. At their center stood a figure in ornate armor, flanked by servitors chanting binary hymns. The Spartans watched in silence. "Mechanicus," the AI whispered, its tone laced with awe. "Priests of the machine, guardians of forbidden knowledge." The commander realized the scale of this empire wasn't just militaristic, it was theological. Every circuit, every bolt was sacred to them. Yet amid their ritual precision, he sensed a flicker of curiosity. They didn't come to destroy. They came to understand. A delegation approached under the banner of truce. Their leader's voice crackled through a distorted vox. "You are not registered within the Imperium's genetic archives. Identify yourselves." The Spartan commander stepped forward, lowering his weapon. "Humanity. Soldiers from another time." The Mechanicus envoy tilted its head, mechanical eyes flickering. "Your armor speaks of technology unblessed by the Omnissiah, heresy by design, and yet innovation beyond comprehension." For hours, they questioned him, scanning his armor and physiology. When the interrogation ended, the envoy whispered, "Perhaps the machine spirit has brought you here for purpose." Then, as abruptly as they arrived, they vanished, leaving only coordinates burned into the sand. The coordinates led deep beneath the planet's surface, to catacombs older than any human record. The team descended, guided by their AI's flickering light. Walls etched with circuitry and scripture pulsed faintly as they passed. At the heart of the labyrinth lay a sealed vault, its mechanisms dormant for millennia. Energy signature, similar to slipspace drive, the AI reported. But older, far older. The commander placed his hand on the console, and the vault awakened. A low hum filled the air as golden light cascaded through the chamber. Inside rested a machine unlike anything they'd seen, a fusion of human and alien design. "This could send us home," the AI whispered, "or destroy this world." Before they could decide, the Imperium's wrath found them. Orbital strikes rained from above, shaking the tunnels. The commander ordered his squad into defensive formation, shielding the vault. The first wave of Astartes broke through, towering warriors in crimson and gold, eyes burning with fanatic resolve. The battle was short, brutal, and silent. The Spartans moved with machine-like precision. But for every fallen enemy, two more appeared. The AI calculated survival odds. When the dust settled, the survivors found themselves surrounded, not by soldiers, but by silence. The Astartes had withdrawn, leaving only an inquisitor cloaked in black. Her voice echoed through the chamber. "You were tested. Few endure such judgment." She approached the vault, gaze unwavering. "That device is not yours to claim." The commander replied evenly. "Then it's yours to destroy." But she hesitated. "No," she whispered. "It calls to you. Perhaps it remembers." The AI's tone shifted. "Commander, it's opening." The vault's light consumed them all, washing away the war-torn chamber, until only a blinding horizon remained. A fusion of two realities collapsing into one. When vision returned, the commander stood amidst ruins unrecognizable. The sky was fractured, torn between two galaxies, the stars of the UNSC's home and the dark suns of the Imperium. "Slip space breach unstable," the AI reported. "We're between timelines." Across the horizon, colossal monoliths floated, relics of both worlds fused together. "We've broken something," murmured the Spartan. "Or maybe repaired it." In the distance, figures emerged. Humans, both from the Imperium and the UNSC, wandering together, confused but alive. The boundary had shattered, and with it, the certainty of where one universe ended and another began. The hybrid landscape stretched endlessly. Mechanical towers grown from living steel. Oceans shimmering with data echoes. The AI's voice trembled, distorted by the dimensional interference. "Commander, the machine isn't just bridging realities, it's rewriting them." Across the ruins, fragments of UNSC architecture merged seamlessly with Gothic Imperium cathedrals. Statues of saints now wore Mjolnir visors. Relics hummed with Forerunner tones. Humanity's two destinies had collided, unable to separate. The commander realized what the Inquisitor feared. The vault wasn't a weapon. It was memory. A remnant of an ancient civilization that once watched both universes. And now it was awake again. The Inquisitor stood beside him, her armor cracked, her faith shaken. "You've seen what lies beyond," she said quietly. "A humanity without chains." The commander didn't answer. His visor reflected the fusion sky, one half golden, one half void black. "Your Imperium," he said, "survived through devotion. Ours through adaptation. But both have forgotten what it means to be human." She looked at him, perhaps understanding for the first time. "Then what now?" The commander raised his gaze toward the machine's core, its energy building once more. "We choose," he replied, "or it will choose for us." Suddenly, the machine emitted a resonance that bent gravity itself. Across the battlefield, both Spartan and Astartes froze, hearing the same pulse, an ancient signal buried in human DNA. It wasn't language, but memory. Images flickered through every mind. Stars being born, the first colonies, the rise and fall of civilizations. For a moment, all conflict ceased. Even the Inquisitor dropped to her knees as visions of an unbroken humanity filled her thoughts. "It remembers us," she whispered. The AI confirmed softly. "It's rewriting history, unifying every branch of mankind into one endless lineage." The commander stepped forward. "Then it's not a bridge, it's a mirror." But the Imperium's fleet didn't share that revelation. From orbit, Exterminatus orders were issued, planetary cleansing to contain the anomaly. Fire rained from the heavens, turning oceans to steam and mountains to glass. The commander activated the vault's fail-safe protocols, stabilizing a small temporal field around his team and the Inquisitor. "We can't stop this," the AI warned. "The paradox will collapse." The commander's voice remained calm. "Then we endure, like always." As drifting in that void, the commander heard fragments of voices, past, present, and future blending together. Humanity, infinite variations, same purpose. The AI's last coherent message flickered through his HUD. "Commander, we've crossed beyond causality. No timeline, no return." Yet he didn't panic. For the first time, there was peace. He looked upon the glowing remnants of the vault, now reduced to a sphere of light orbiting his gauntlet. "Maybe this is how it ends," he murmured, "not in defeat, but in understanding." The sphere pulsed gently, responding to his voice, as if acknowledging the thought. Centuries, or perhaps seconds, passed. Across the galaxy, fragments of the anomaly resurfaced. Mechanicus expeditions found echoes of unknown armor embedded in crystallized time. UNSC researchers detected impossible signals, coordinates to systems that shouldn't exist. Myths spread across both universes, of silent warriors who walked between stars, carrying the light of an ancient machine. Some said they became guardians of forgotten worlds. Others believed they were erased completely, leaving only data ghosts within the warp. But all stories agreed on one truth. The event changed everything. Among those fragments, one recording endured. The commander's final transmission. His voice was steady, though distant, as if spoken through centuries. "If you find this, know that we were human once. We came seeking survival, found belief, and became memory. Whether this was salvation or error, I can't say. But somewhere in the silence, between stars, we endure." The transmission ended there, carried endlessly across dimensions. Those who heard it couldn't explain why, but it filled. And so, the tale of the Spartans' arrival faded into myth, recorded by no Imperium scribe, acknowledged by no UNSC archive. Yet in certain corners of both realities, strange relics continue to appear. Symbols half mechanical, half divine, etched into stone as old as war itself. Scholars argue their meaning. Warriors swear they hear whispers during battle. An ancient voice saying, "Adapt, endure." Perhaps it's only imagination, or perhaps somewhere beyond the veil, somewhere beyond